What's going on, everybody? I just want to talk to you guys really quick. I try not to make this video not too long, but I've been going through a lot of stuff. I mean, even since last week. Um, it was one night. I can't remember if it was on a Tuesday or if it was on a Monday. I can't remember. I think it was on a Monday. I remember that Monday night because I've there's a thing called dander. I think that's what it's called. It's like a skin cell thing that be like on dogs or whatever. So over the weekend, I had my nephews. They came by and they brought their dog, and there was no problem. But I guess when they went to my sister's, they had a cat, and I guess it kind of got in contact. So when it came back, I was coughing. I was not coughing, but I was sneezing a lot. And my allergies usually don't just go crazy right off the back like that. Like it was the first time. Then I started feeling like there was something like moving around in my ear, and it was just a weird feeling. But then it started to really escalate. It started to be like I was taking Claritin. I was taking just different type of allergy medicine to try to bring it down. Um, and then I knew for a while after that it went away, but the pressure in my head was starting to get all out of control. I feel like pressure was getting all into my tubes. I think it's called Eustachian tubes or whatever, back in my eardrum. And because 1 minute it would feel like it was fluid, then once thing you know, one side was pressure, then the other side was less pressure, and it was just everything was just completely off balance, and it just got to a point where it was just getting very frustrating. Um, and so I remember that there was one night that I was praying and stuff because I was trying to go to sleep and I kept hearing this high pitchy sound all in my ear and it was just very unbearable. And I'm just like, man, it's difficult sleeping this way. So I'm sitting there with my head, face down up on my pillow, and I'm just sitting there just praying like, Lord, like, Lord, I just pray, Lord, that you just get these sounds out of my head, Lord, whatever this sensation going on in my ears, God, get rid of it, God, Lord, just help me. And I'm just sitting there just praying hard. And next thing you know, I started speaking in tongues. Like it just started flowing. And I'm telling you, I haven't spoken in tongues ever since probably probably ever since I probably got saved. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, there's somewhere probably in between, but it's been so long now. But when I felt that I couldn't, like every time I was trying to say a word, it just went into tongues. Like I couldn't control it. And so I just felt God just really like the present God. It was just taking over, and I could the spirit of God was just speaking through me. And it was like right after that, everything I kept speaking to my ears. I kept speaking to everything that was trying to bother me, and I was like, "Peace be still on my body. Peace be still." And everything just sounded like it just felt like it just started settling down. And I felt in my spirit that God was telling me, "This is it. Like now you're going to be entering into your promised land. You held on to this and that." But and then I keep remembering it even to this day. I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, it's not what you think, because see, I kept looking up on Google, and if y'all know, people when they feel something that's not right with their body, what do they go? They go to Google and say, "Hey, is it this? Is it that?" And I just want to tell you guys, be careful on that, because a lot of times the devil will use that to make you think you have something when you really don't. So every time I just kept feeling this or I kept feeling that or this felt different, I would always go to Google. And my mom, she kept telling me, "Stop doing that, stop doing that. You open up doors." And what do you know? I did my best. I tried my best to stay off of it, and I just kept going into it. And so I'm just letting you guys know, don't ever do that. When you feel like you want to go to Google or trying to get answers of what's going on, take it to God. Take it to God. Do not do that, because you'll open up doors. And so when after I done that, I was able to kind of go back to sleep. And then when I woke up a little bit, and like, cause sometimes I would feel like my side of my face was like kind of like, I almost want to say it almost felt like it was. It's kind of hard to explain. It just felt like kind of numb, like around my ear area. It just felt like something was like kind of numb to where I couldn't really, like, I feel like something was blocking my ear, but at the same time I could hear out my ear. That was the weird part. I can't explain it, but it felt weird. And then it was like a little scratch. It was not scratch mark, but it felt like it was burning, like on the outside of the lobe of the ear, like all up in there. I could even feel the scab. So when I woke up and I felt that burn sensation, I'm like, man, what is that? So I got up and I washed my face. I was putting some kind of cream on it, and so I laid back down, And man, this is where it gets bad. I think I went more into panic mode more than anything because it just felt like after my ears was cleared up, and you remember I told you it felt like something was kind of like falling, like or something moved around in my ear. It literally felt like there was like I don't know how to say it, but like little bitty tiny little crystals. I don't know if I'm saying that right, or that may be what it felt like. But it just felt like it was so many of them falling in my ear, and it was getting to a point to where it felt like I was swallowing it because it seemed like it went to my ear all the way down to my throat. So every time I would swallow, I would hear this high pitched sound every time I would swallow, and it would feel like something was like actually like it felt like a bunch of crystals coming from my ears. I don't know how to say it, but it just felt like a bunch of crystals coming from my ear, behind my eardrums, and it just felt like it was just going down every time. It just felt like I was swallowing it, and the sensation felt so like, and maybe that was just a sensation. Maybe it wasn't really nothing falling out, but that in that moment I was panicking. I didn't know what to think. So and we don't have a car at this time. Um, so I'm just sitting there, and this is like 3 in the morning. No, I think it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. I think it was 4 in the morning. So I'm just sitting here. I'm trying to just bear with it. I'm trying to pray against it, pray against it. I'm like, Lord, you told me that I'm healed. Lord, you said that this is it, Lord. And I'm just sitting there just praying and praying and praying. And it just seemed like it was getting worse and worse and worse. So I'm sitting there getting up. I said, yeah, this doesn't feel right. So I try to call a few people or try to text a few people. Obviously at that time, nobody's not really up. So I tried to tell my mom about it. I said, Mom, I don't feel right. This doesn't feel right. I don't understand this. This is just seem like it's getting out of control. This is way more than just allergies. Something has been triggered. And so I remember I was doing all that. I was telling her about it, and she prayed for me and stuff, and she's like, "You're just gonna have to just go lay down. You're just gonna have to just rebuke. You're gonna have to pray." And I'm just like, "Mom, I still don't feel right." And so I try to go in my room. I'm just sitting there, just walking around in my room. I'm praying like, "Lord, help me. Lord, help me. What is going on with my body? Why is this constantly happening?" I'm just at this point. At this point, I was literally frustrated. So I'm just like, and it just seemed like every time I kept swallowing, it just like I kept feeling like it was like a whole, it was just like a whole handful of crystals just falling down my throat. I can't explain it. And it was just like as I was swallowing it, because at first it would feel like it was filling up my ears, but it just felt like it was just coming down my throat. So at that point, I'm just like, you know what? I got to go. I got to go to the hospital. I'm not. I'm kind of. I'm not that far. I'm probably like 20 minutes away from the hospital. Not 20 minutes, but probably like 15 or 20 minutes. Probably 20 minutes away from the hospital. So I just said, you know what? I have to get my stuff, and I'm gonna have to just walk. So so I'm up in the middle of the night. It's already like lightning and stuff because I guess it was gonna storm that morning. So I'm like, okay, I got to walk. I put on my jacket, put on everything, brought my water, and I'm sitting there just walking fast, 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 like all the way to the hospital. And and I'm sitting there just constantly drinking it. And every time I was drinking it, just feel like more stuff was keep coming down from my ears to my throat. I don't know how to explain it, guys. So I'm just saying it that way. But it just felt like just stuff just kept coming out and going into my throat and going into my stomach. So at this point, I'm just like, Lord, it just feel like I'm swallowing a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't be swallowing. So I'm sitting here panicking. I'm walking fast. So I get to the hospital, and one thing about the hospital over here in this small town that I live at, they're not good. They're not good at all. They don't really care about you. They don't really try to get to the bottom of anything. That's why I told God when I'm ready to move to an area where there's doctors and people around that really care and want to get things done. It just seemed like they try to just get you in and get you out. They don't care, especially if you got like insurance and all that kind of stuff. But anywho, I had medical card and all that stuff, but it just seemed like it's just not enough. And I honestly, they shouldn't have nothing like that. They should remove all that stuff. And when people need help, they should be able to get help. You shouldn't have to have this and be required to have that to get some kind of help. Like that's ridiculous. I believe God's gonna change all that system around. But anyways, so I got there. I just told her I'm sitting there shaking. I'm sitting there kind of like sweating. Like my shirt was sweating, my pants kind of sweat because I was walking fast. And I'm just sitting there just shaking. I'm like, yeah, I went through the whole thing, signed information. They got my information, all that stuff. So I'm sitting there just waiting, and this is where it gets even more bad. Cause once I actually got in the actual room, waiting on the doctor, and that's one thing if y'all know about hospitals, like you'll sit there for like almost 40 minutes for a doctor to come in. So I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, man, this just don't feel right. So I'm sitting there, on the thing. They check my pulse and all that kind of stuff. They check my high blood pressure and stuff. The usual things that the doctors do. And at this moment, it just seemed like every time I was swallowing, it just felt like a lot of stuff was falling out of like it's kind of weird to say, but just out of my ear. I don't know. It just felt like a lot of stuff was falling, like just like little crystals, because it just felt like it was just running down my throat every time I was swallow. And I'm sitting there drinking with it every time I swallow because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if I was actually feeling something or something was really there. So at that point, I think I was drinking way too much water, and I felt like my stomach was getting kind of big and stuff because I kept swallowing, and drinking that water. And you know, and then just in that situation, I would come out and I'd be like, "Hey, is anybody? Is the doctor ready?" Because I was sitting there for a long time, so they would just say, "Hey, you need to just go in there, just sit down, this and that." And I said, "Well, I get some water." It's like, "No, you can't get no water and this and that." So I'm in the room like guys, I'm in there just like panicking, like going crazy, like I'm sitting on my knees, like Lord, please help me. I don't know what is going on. I just don't understand what is happening to me. And for one moment, it just felt like my stomach was getting even more tighter, and then I started feeling sick. I think I tried to throw up a few times, but nothing wouldn't come out. So that kind of made me feel a little bit even more nervous because I'm like, what if this stuff is building up in my stomach into my what's that tube that goes into your stomach? I felt like that was getting filled up, and it was getting to a point to where I was trying to swallow, but it felt like I couldn't swallow no more. And literally in that moment, in that moment, the thing was starting to go on that they put on your finger. The thing was going like crazy. It said my heart rate was going like high, like it was beating like crazy. And at this moment, I'm like, Lord, I don't want to die this way, like, cause it literally felt like in that situation, I was gonna die in that situation, and maybe that was just me, just really just overthinking, and the devil trying to press me out. But I kept remembering that voice that God spoke to me when I was in here praying. It's not what you think. But at the same time, I'm feeling this, and it feel like all this is filling up, and I'm just like, and I'm sitting there asking them, I said, will it fill up all up in this area? They was like, no, it won't do that. You're like, your stomach's going to, it's going to take care of it. But I'm just like, man, what if my stomach is filled up with crystals? So I'm having all these thoughts going in my mind. I said, Lord, I don't want to die this way. I can't die this way and stuff. And I'm just like, Lord, help me. I'm in there crying. I'm in there frustrated. Like, Lord, what is going on? And so like I said a few times, I was trying to throw up. Nothing wouldn't come out. I'm talking about nothing. So it made me worry even more. And because nothing wasn't coming out. But then after that, that's when they gave me some medicine. I guess that will calm down my nauseousness because I had some nauseousness, due to what I was feeling in that moment. So they gave me that, and they gave me a shot and then the IV and all that stuff. And I'm telling you what, I was feeling sick. Like when I got almost out of there, I was feeling sick like a dog. Like I never felt that nauseated in so long. Like, man, I was just like, ugh. And eventually, I think eventually, I can't remember what happened. Okay, they took me to get X-rays, and I couldn't even lay back for a long time. Like every time I kept trying to get up, they was like, "No, you have to sit down because you have to lay back so we can get the scans that we need." But because it was like while I was laying back, and they was telling you to hold your breath, it literally felt like I was about to, throw up. And so they would tell me, so I'm sitting there struggling, trying to breathe and stuff, and I'm trying not to move because they tell you can't move, and then they said for a couple seconds you can't breathe. So man, I'm telling my guys, that was probably the worst day of my life. Like I'm telling you guys, I'm just like, Lord, I don't understand. I said, Lord, I feel like I'm dying. I feel like it just feel like all hope is lost. Like in that situation, I'm sitting texting my mom. I'm like, Mom, I just don't understand. it just seemed like I'm not gonna make it. She was like, no, don't talk like that. God done brought you this far and this and that. And at the same time, that voice kept coming to me. It's not what you think. And so in that whole situation, I was just stunned. I didn't know what more to do. And then after I got the X-rays, they came back. They said, well, they said you may have some. I don't know if they say inflammation or something was triggered because I guess taking all the different algae medicines all together, that made it cause the triggering. So they said, well, we got. They looked on the thing. They said, well, they don't see nothing like going down my throat or anything like that. They said they don't see anything. So that relieved a lot more for me, and then I started to become more relaxed. I started calming down. I stopped bothering them because it was like every second I kept looking out like, hey, can somebody help me? Hey, can somebody do something? And they was just all just looking at me crazy. So so it was like that whole situation. It was bad. And then like I said, I thought they was gonna give me medication until when I realized when I got home they didn't give me no medication, but they did give me a medicine, I guess, to calm down whatever that was going on in my ear. And I called my ride, and they came pick me up, and I went home. And I think the whole day, it was storming. It was like raining a lot. I was just sitting in my bed literally the whole time. Like, and this was last week, so this is why y'all haven't really been hearing from me at all. But I was just sitting here, just laying here the whole time, just rocking, 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 putting an ice pack on my stomach to get my stomach to calm down. Because now I'm thinking to myself, so I got my stomach out of place for no reason. Like, I all that stuff was literally just in my head. Like the things that I was thinking about because I seen, people said this is the sign of this and this the sign of that. See, I had all those things in my head and I thought those things was actually happening to me, but really God was letting me know it's not what you think. And I think God told me that before everything started happening because he knew it was gonna start to feel like that. So he was letting me know ahead of time it's not what you think. And I thank God and I praise God for that. I'm telling you, God, he cares about you. He'll let you know ahead of time. So when that thing come or whatever do come your way, you'll know how to handle it. You'll know that, hey, I know what God said to me. So in that situation, I mean, I still have some, you know, issue. Sometimes I get like a little well, my ear is back normal, but sometimes, it'll pop and sometimes I don't feel that sensation like I did, like crazy like it was when it was last week. So I can tell, and I'm just kind of not taking no medication. I'm just allowing my body to, to fight it off. And I can tell my body's fighting off because it's going back to its normal self. My stomach is going back to its full normal self because, like I said, I was just eating little stuff like crackers and all that kind of stuff and taking in some honey because honey is good for your stomach. If anybody don't know, honey is really good for your stomach. Like right now, my ear's trying to pop. So so no, I'm good. God has blessed me, and I just want to tell you guys this, that we're going through. If you're going through a lot of afflictions right now, it's because you're going to another level, and don't be so quick to go into pills 24/7, going to Google saying what you got, what is this, what's the sign of this. No, that moment when you feel like you want to go there, you need to go to God, and that's one of the things that I did not do. I didn't go to God, so I'm learning that when I feel some things and some things don't feel right, I'm learning to just go to God about it. And I tell God, hey, give me the solution. Hey, Lord, is there something I need to eat that will give me this, because we got natural stuff like honey and all this stuff. We got vegetables and different things that really fights off a lot of stuff. But the world don't want that. They want you to go to the hospital. They want you to give all these pills, and then you take all these pills, and then something else gets triggered in your body. So that's why I tell a lot of people just go to God. Don't go to Google. Don't go that because you start opening up them doors, and then now the devil see you on there looking up different things. He gonna start putting different ideas, and when you feeling this, then you're gonna think, oh, maybe it's because I have this, maybe because I have that. Now you're diagnosing yourself. So don't do that. Learn to just run to God. I know a lot of people's going through a lot of afflictions right now on their bodies, but I command healing in the name of Jesus that God would heal you today. God will start to heal you today. and you will start to feel and see progress be made in your life. So I just want to give everybody a little testimony that, hey, when you feeling something's attacking your body or coming against your body, don't be so quick to go to other things. Go to God. Go to God. That's one of the things I didn't do. And it really come to find out that everything that I went through in that moment was for nothing. So I felt like I was trying to hack up and throw up for nothing. It just felt like something was coming out of my ear, but really it wasn't. It was just that high pitchy sound to make it sound like something was, flowing down my throat and stuff. So that's just what it was. So I've been wanting to do this video. I just wanted to wait for the right day and stuff, to get up on here and do the video. But I pray it bless you. I pray that it helps you, and to realize even though you're being afflicted in your body, God's gonna make a way of an escape. I think God wants us to get to a point to rely on our bodies and vegetables and different things that we can eat and different things like that. Just certain home recommendations or massages and different areas and stuff that's going to give you the healing that you need instead of just quick to go on the pills, because we're coming in a time they're putting stuff in pills and then it'll be triggering something else and you don't know, because they say, oh, it may work for this, and then you take it, you may get a reaction out of it. Then if you take this pill and they say it works for this, then you start having problems in this area or whatever. So you just got to be careful. Don't be so quick to run into the hospital. Don't be so quick to run to the getting pill stuff. Run to God. God wants to be your doctor. He wants to be your landlord. He wants to be your boss at a job or whatever like that. God wants to be totally 100% control of your life. That's what it means. And trust me, it doesn't feel good because it's the abnormal way. We're used to going to go get medicine. We're used to going to go to the hospital and stuff. But God is doing things different now, because all this stuff is going to get shut down. When the hospitals get shut down, where are you going to go? So, and I think God is just in the place where he's training us in that area to trust him with our own bodies. And as you can see, and really I hadn't been eating much, but as you can see, I lost even more weight. Like I'm back small, like back in my sophomore year. I feel good about it. Just got to work out. But love you guys. Y'all be blessed. Be encouraged. Continue to fight. You're going to a new level. That's why you're being attacked in your body. But it's not going to last always. Don't rely on medicine and hospital and these other people. Rely on God. And I'm telling you, I promise you, I'm a full witness. He will bring you out. He will heal your body naturally, or he'll give you certain recommendations. Hey, try this. Hey, eat this. Hey, sip on this. And I'm telling you, it's going to be enough to give you the healing that you need. Natural healing, not quick microwave healing that give you quick healing, but then something else flares up. No, you need natural healing. Sometimes natural healing takes a long time, but just like food in the oven, like a meat in the oven, it has to cook all the way through. Maybe for a whole hour, it has to cook. And I know you get tired of you looking in there, open up the oven, like, man, when is it gonna be done? You have to be patient. And then when it's done, it's going to taste so good. It's going to be nice and tender. Because why? You allow it to do what it do. You allow the time to take over. Because if you keep opening up, opening, closing, it ain't going to never get done. You may feel like it may look like it's getting done, and then you take it out, you start cutting it, and then blood start gushing everywhere. Yeah, on the outside look good, but the inside still ain't cooked yet. So you got to learn to have patience is what I'm trying to say. When we talk about natural healing takes time. If you want quick healing most times going to come with a bunch of problems. So just want to let you know that. Love you guys, and y'all be blessed. Till next time, Jesus Christ.